Is a tuned BMW G20 330i better than a VRS? See, if you think about it, the F chassis and the G chassis 3 series are now coming down to the 20 to 30 lakh rupee mark, and the G20 330i is yet to come down to that sort of level, but in a couple of years time it'll be around 25 to 30 lakh rupees. Right now they're around 30 to 35 to 40 lakh rupees depending on the condition and all, and even at that price point this is one heck of a car because it's already BS6 compliant. It's 2020, 2021. It gets all of the latest tech. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and I mean, it's a BMW and it's a recipe for having fun. Let me tell you why. If you think about it, the recipe of the VRS and the 330i is fairly similar. You have a pretty peppy and pretty powerful 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine up in front with a snappy automatic transmission. But the main difference is the 330i is rear-wheel drive, which means you can have a lot more fun with the 330i because, well, it can step its tail out. Now, since this is a stage 2 car, let me talk about this particular build. Now, first and foremost, I want to give a quick shout out to Amir Suhail. He's my good friend over here in Bangalore and he helped us sort out this car and this shoot. He's like an automotive consultant. So if you're looking to build your car and you're in Bangalore, definitely reach out to him. I'll put his Instagram handle somewhere over here on the screen. Talking about the build, this is a stage 2 setup on a BMW 330i. It has a Code 6 downpipe, Arma Speed carbon fiber intakes which sound absolutely killer. Have a listen. Yup, that sounds pretty insane. Now this hardware setup is connected to a stage 2 tune from BM3, an OTS tune, so it's off the shelf, and it's running an XHP stage 3 TCU tune. And apart from that, the mods that are there are basically the wheels, which look absolutely fantastic. They're niche wheels. I'm hearing of this brand for the first time, and you have a little boot lip spoiler at the back as well. Overall, the car looks very clean and this car actually sounds pretty crazy. I think it sounds better than an EA 888 Gen 3 for sure. An M340i is the first sort of question that comes into your head, and well, I mean, the M340i is a completely different ballpark of performance. I mean, the 330i unfortunately doesn't even touch the level of the M340i's performance. The B58 engine is just that good. But when it comes to the B48, let me tell you one thing. If you're in the market for like a VRS 230 or a VRS 245, just stretch a little bit and get yourself a G20 330i, or if you find one, an F chassis 330i. F chassis 330i's are very rare to come by, but if you do find one, I think so those are really nice, and I personally would prefer that over a G20. But coming back to this particular car, it is a lot of fun to drive, and yes, technically this ticks all of the right boxes. It has a pretty peppy 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and now in this stage 2 setup, it sounds really crazy and, well, pulls really hard as well. This car is currently running a stage 2 remap from BM3 and OTS map, and it's running an XHP stage 3 TCU tune as well. So the shifts are pretty aggressive. You can definitely feel the shifts all the time. Even if you're in Eco Pro or in comfort mode, you can feel a little bit of a jolt every time the car upshifts, even if it's doing it on its own. But flick down a couple of gears and this thing hooks up and goes. And the best part is that the car is rear wheel drive. So in the corners, it's proper fun. You don't have to constantly fight understeer like you have in the VRS 245 or the VRS 230. In this, you'll have a lot of oversteer, and I mean, oversteer. Who doesn't want oversteer? If you're a car enthusiast, that's what you want. And that is one of the main reasons why you should choose a G20 330i or an F chassis 330i over a VRS, because it's rear wheel drive. Now yes, if you compare the engines together, the E888 and the B48, the E888 is clearly the better engine of the two. I mean, if you're not chasing after numbers and if you're not really into the world of drag racing or all of that stuff, if you just want a car which handles really well and will put a big wide smile on your face when you're hitting the corners, well, I think so the 330i is the car that you should go for, because, well, the performance is there, 85-90% of an E888. You can't really go stage 3 on these cars, but like I said, if you're not chasing after numbers or if you're not after the big horsepowers and all of that stuff, this car is something that I would choose over a VRS 245. In terms of aftermarket options, this platform does have quite a lot of stuff. This car, like I said, is running the Armour Speed carbon fiber intake. There is a whole lot of stuff from BM3, from XHP, Keys Motorsport, Dynon. So the aftermarket support for BMWs is, well, very good. Almost as good as any VAG car, I would like to say. But one thing that you will have to think about is that if you're getting a G20 330i, you will have to do a femto unlock on the car, which is basically 1 lakh rupees. So it is kind of justified for the M340i platform, but is it justified for a 330i? Well, that comes totally down to you. As if you want to actually go crazy on this car, then yes, it does make sense. But I think so you should start out with a stock G20 330i and then slowly build your way up, and then maybe take a call as to if you want to tune it, not tune it. And the main thing about BMWs is that they handle super nice. So I think you should do suspension, brakes and all of that stuff before you get into the performance mods. But if you do the femto unlock, trust me, you won't be disappointed, because this thing pulls pretty hard. Now, we all know why the 330i would be more fun than a VRS, but let me tell you why I think it's just the better package overall. Now, yes, the interior of the VRS is a little bit more special. This interior feels pretty much like any other normal 3 Series that you can get. 320D interior, 320LD, all of those cars have fairly similar interiors if you compare it with this 330i. Now, this is the M Sport package, which means that you get the more aggressive bumpers, front and rear, and I have to say it looks pretty mean. On the inside, when it comes to the M stuff, I think so the only real M thing that you have is the steering wheel, which again I really like. Overall, I feel, and this is my personal opinion, the G20 330i looks better than a VRS any day. I mean, the long hood up front and that classic 3-box shape that BMW has maintained over the years with the 3 Series, I mean, this thing looks absolutely beautiful. And the thing is, they've not done the ugly grille kind of stuff over here with the normal G20 330i, which I really like. And this front end looks absolutely beautiful in my opinion. This does not have the laser light, so it doesn't have the crazy DRLs, but overall this is a very well proportioned, very aesthetic and very beautiful car. In case you're wondering, this is how much it costs to build a G20 330i to this particular car spec. The Armour Speed carbon fiber intake costs roughly around 1.5 lakh rupees. These lovely niche Gamma M190 wheels with the Michelin tires cost roughly around 2.5 lakhs. The Femto Unlock, BM3 Tune and XHP TCU map all cost a collective of 3.7 lakh rupees. And the downpipe that has been fitted onto this car costs another 46,000 rupees. Yup, a hefty bill for this particular car. So if you're looking to purchase a BMW 330i, let it be the F30 or even if it's the G20, what should you look out for? Well, first and foremost, this is a BMW and the maintenance and upkeep also is going to be much more expensive than even an Octavia VRS. So be prepared for that. So make sure that the car you're buying is properly maintained, because anything can go wrong in this car, and the B48 is, well, fairly reliable, but if you don't take care of it, yeah, things can go south pretty fast. And the other major thing that is there is that if you're picking this car up to tune, especially if it's the G20, you're going to have to send the ECU all the way to Finland to Femto to unlock it, and that is roughly around 1 to 1.5 lakhs depending on who you're sending the ECU with. So if that is worth it, well, that totally depends upon you. Most people don't tune the G20 chassis 330i because of this particular issue. The ECU unlock is so expensive that a lot of people just can't justify it. But that's not to say that this car is not fun. I would definitely pick a G20 330i over an Octavia VRS. Now, why I don't do it? Well, like I said, maintenance, upkeep, and all of those sort of things. But if you do have the money to spare and if you want something that's a fun, dailyable tuner car, the 330i seems to be an incredible option. So let us know in the comments down below what you think of the G20 330i in its stage 2 form. I think this car is absolutely killer. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.